Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cup Duet Reviews. My name is Jillian Robinson. I'm the Associate Artistic Producer here at Cup of Hemlock Theatre. And today I am joined by a fresh face, a new guest, but an old, wonderful friend of mine. She is a stage manager, an assistant stage manager, a singer, a board game aficionado, like I said, a bestie. It's Miss Emily Cornelius. Emily, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I am doing swell. Thanks for coming on. I know it's been
Absolutely.
a while. We've been wanting to get you on,
Yeah.
and here we are. We're doing it.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, and
Yes.
what a phenomenal piece to be a part of to blast off your first time here at the Cup with us.
Absolutely. Yes. Very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, Emily and I have the great honor of chatting about King Theatre Company's summer production of Mitch Albom's Tuesdays with Morrie. So, King Theatre Company is a new theater that's helmed by Chloë Rose Flowers, who I have interviewed in the past here on the Cup. Chloe's a good friend of mine and Ryan's, and Chloe is doing some wonderful work in King City, predominantly with King Theatre Company and in association with Pine Farms Orchard. That is where Tuesdays with Morrie's happened on location today. Emily and I just got back from seeing the performance. So we've got our little outdoor kind of like hair and sweaters on, and we're excited, to talk about the ambiance, to talk about this wonderful, timeless piece. A lot of tears were shed. A lot of community was shared, so we will get into it. But this production is running, like I said, at Pine Farms Orchard in King City, August 13th to the 28th. So by the time this episode is released, you will have time to catch the end of its run. And then always looking forward to what King Theatre Company has up their sleeves upcoming. But before we get into specifics, as per usual, we will do our introduction icebreaker. Emily, what is in your cup with us today?
Nothing exciting, just some nice cold water. I need to drink more water in my life. So by the time this is done, this is going to be done as well. I'm promising
Yes,
myself that. Yes.
good. And it's an August Eve. So, yes, we do need to
There you go.
replenish. We're both at exhaustion levels too. So, hydration
Yes.
station is what I say on these
There you go.
episodes.
Cheers.
Cheers. I also have my little mason jar of water as well.
Mhm.
So cheers. Sometimes on these episodes, we also do like, what is your ensemble? Or do you like happen to be on brand of what the piece is? I didn't do this intentionally, but there is a line or a moment where Mitch wears gray sweaters to Morrie's lectures and classes when university. And I just happened to bring like my nice big baggy gray sweater as my chilly option for the show. So I thought I'd carry it on throughout the episode.
Yes.
And I feel like you've got a little like pine orchard farm denim going on.
I was like, it fits. I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I want to fit into the ambiance. And I feel like I did it. Yes.
Great. Okay, so let's unpack how these normally go, because again, Emily's a novice here with us today. So we'll kind of give our general appraisals, without giving too much spoiler alert away. And then we'll pop a spoiler shield onto the screen and we'll pop into the spoiler zone and we can get into nitty gritty. So I guess, kind of putting you on the spot or in the spotlight. What were your general appraisals, Emily, of this whole experience? Tuesdays with Morrie.
I didn't really know what to expect kind of going into it. I had read the book. I was telling you, I'd read the book once in sometime in high school. And I was like, I think I like old man teacher goes back and visits. But it was kind of the only thing. And I'd never heard of the orchard that we were going to. So I was like, okay, we're going to a field in the middle. And like, I was like, I had no idea. And it was gorgeous. It was the perfect setting, I think, for this like gorgeous two-hander show. And it was very calming in a sense, like the atmosphere and hearing like the planes overhead and just it felt very community based. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought it was gorgeous. Yeah,
totally. And again, we'll get into specifics too, but like you said, it's the two-hander. And I thought the charisma and chemistry between our two actors, Josh Palmer, who played Mitch, and Nicholas Rice, who played Morrie, was absolutely phenomenal. Like, I think they really paid homage to what Mitch and Morrie's real relationship would have been. There was just like a timelessness, a like old soul ability that both of them brought out of each other, I
Mhm.
think, in this. And like you said, in this backdrop of this sort of dropped in natural
Yeah.
nature setting, the fact that the face of the Pine Orchard Farms store basically
Mhm.
is our stage, and
Yeah,
like just, yeah, a very like seamless, subtle yet so impactful staging and setup.
absolutely.
um, and I think using this opportunity to tip my hat to Chloë Rose Flowers, the artistic
Mhm.
director. Again, this is the second season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Chloe, pop in the chat. But, and the fact she's choosing these pieces that are like so impactful, small cast. So, like, it's a very smart business decision, but then also like the messages and the themes and the demographic that she's hitting is
Yeah.
such an awesome launching point for this new company. And yeah, it's just everything kind of seemed like a package tied up with a bow.
Yeah. And like with this show, like I was not familiar with the company at all, but of previous shows they've done. But this show, it speaks definitely to our generation of professors that we had in university, and
Yeah,
also the older generation of, oh, that was me, or that was my father, or whatever. So
totally.
it perfect. Yeah.
It's one of those pieces where, and I mean, I feel like a lot of Mitch Albom's books do this, where it regardless of how old you are, who you are, what your upbringing is, you're going to get a
Mhm.
slice of life or like
Yeah.
memory snapshots packed with emotion, packed with, like we said, like community. And so, yeah, this piece really
Yeah.
hits all of the boxes, or checks all the boxes rather. Yeah, I guess too, we again, I feel like we can just very easily jump into the spoiler zone,
Yeah.
because I want to
Yeah.
start talking about like like the setting and everything too.
Absolutely.
So for the spoiler shield, which usually we pop up an image,
Okay.
I think we should maybe do like the chair, like the armchair that
Yeah.
Morrie rests in for a lot of the piece. This isn't really spoiler, but obviously if you've read the book, or most of the piece is them in conversation, unpacking life, and it is shared in this room that I think, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly, Mitch and Morrie describe it as being like packed with warmth.
Yeah.
Discussions start. So that armchair kind of seems like a good little focal grounding point for a spoiler shield. Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so let's pop it up. So the spoiler
Yes.
shield armchair is there. Where do you want to start with like the cast, or should we start about the setting, the ambiance, the Pine
Yeah,
Orchard?
like I kind of want to start with the ambiance because like
So
going with the armchair, it was like the
yeah.
thing that like first struck me because it's kind of the set is, as you were saying, like the storefront basically. And there's like the chair that you're like, okay, that's not always there, but that is there. And is that also part? Like it was very gorgeously tied in all together
Yeah.
that, oh, this chair has been here for as long as this orchard has been here for like 75 years or whatever. Like
Yes.
it was very thought provoking as soon as you
Mhm.
sat down, just being like, oh, this is tied perfectly in. And there were some moments that like at the very end, like I'm going all the way to the end, but like when the cot gets brought out, when like Maury's deathbed gets brought out, I
Mhm.
didn't even clock that because it
Yeah,
was
me neither.
behind
Yeah.
something, and because everything just tied in so perfectly. Yeah.
No, it almost seemed like this might maybe a stretch, but like the setting definitely gave off this like nostalgic storage space, whether it's like a
100%.
grandfather's shed or like a
Mm,
study, or yeah, like a memorabilia box or something. There was
yeah.
like a slice of life in every
Mm,
pocket of that stage, whether the actors were interacting with it or not. It added the texture that the same like dialogue memories also
yeah.
did, right?
Like it
And
was
yeah,
sorry, it was like normally like the set is like a character in of itself. Like I think with this show, it was definitely one of like the starring characters. I
for
mean, like a
sure.
two-person show, it definitely was like, hi, I'm here too. Like, which
Yeah.
is which is it plays a really heavy part. Yeah.
And then the like real life shell that kind of
Yeah.
surrounds the Pine Orchard storefront that is our stage. I think I remember you saying, Em, as we were driving in, there is this lovely, when you come off of the highway going into the Pine Orchard farms, where it's just kind of this like almost boulevard of natural trees, and like you're kind
Yeah.
of lost in like the Canadiana backroad woods vibes
Yeah.
that you had said. You're like, well, this is beautiful. And I feel like for this piece, it did add that sort of prelude, almost like meditation, like we're about to
Yeah.
experience that this piece is. And
Mhm.
then we get there, and then there's just like luscious green grass where folks can park their cars. There was already like a sea of humans sitting, waiting for the
Mhm.
stage the play to start. Doing a little bit of a marketing checkmark plug here. How everything is set up is wonderful. Like folks walk in,
Yeah.
you can purchase baked goods from Pine Orchard. There's a concession stand that is available. Chloë actually herself was running the bar where you could get like a cider, you could get an iced tea. Like there was so much, again, like we said, texture on the stage, like
Mhm.
texture for like concessions and
Yeah.
for you can sit, on a bench, or you can sit on a chair, you can have your
Mhm.
blanket, you can really like choose your own adventure, which
Yeah.
is kind of a resonant theme in this piece.
Yeah, like I felt like an immense sense of calm. Like as soon as like we like turned off the high when you were saying like you go through this like luscious like drive and I'm like, "Oh, this is where I'm meant to be tonight." Like
Yeah,
and that's like kind of how you feel like going to your favorite professor or whatever. Like it like the whole
1,000%.
atmosphere was like, "Oh, this is where I'm meant to be right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, speaking with Chloë in the past interview, which we'll link to this episode as well, King City is where Chloë grew up, and bringing in community and bringing in businesses of King City to help flourish this new company is very important to her.
I love
And
that.
that's the show that Emily and I saw tonight. There happened to be a lot of those sponsors present in the audience
Yeah.
with us. So it was really lovely. In her pre-speech, we got to actually hear her shout out the community help and the feedback that's been surrounding this company. And then, like I said, the fact that this company is born out of such like tight knit humans, like making art to
Mhm.
make each other live wonderful, supportive lives. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the message of the show. Like everything was resting
Mm.
on each other,
Yeah, absolutely.
almost like the physical touches, or like we said, the final resting bed state that
Yeah.
sort of Morrie craves and exudes, right?
Mm.
Amazing. So yeah, I guess let's talk a little bit about, the actual piece itself.
Yeah.
Morrie and Mitch, Nicholas Rice again playing Morrie, and Mitch played by Josh Palmer.
Mm.
Yeah, if we want to start there.
Yeah, I thought there like as soon as like Mitch kind of starts it off because it's very much it reminded me a lot of like I Come From Away-esque with like there's different ways in which they tell the story and it's just them, but there was so many other characters very seamlessly like wielded in. And
Mhm.
as soon as as Mitch came out, you just felt like, oh, I'm taken care of. Like you're here to tell a story. And and there were a lot of like cheeky little looks between the two of them that I was like, oh, you do care for each other. Like it was very
Yes,
much, there was a lot of amazing chemistry between them. Yeah.
1,000%. Also, just recollecting Josh Palmer's bio as Mitch, Josh actually played Jacob in King Theater Company's Saltwater Moon production last summer,
Mm.
too. So that's kind of lovely. I'm sure the people who saw him last year, again, a
Yeah.
refreshing face in this sort of, like narrative
Yeah.
position. Like, again, hats off to Josh. Absolutely. I've said this on many other episodes, but when an actor 1,000% does due diligence to physicality, especially when depletion of
Mm.
self
Yeah.
is at play for a character. I have to shout them out and like bow down. And I want to just do that to Nicholas Rice, who played Morrie,
Absolutely.
because I thought the stages in which Morrie is getting sicker and
Mm.
sicker, he absolutely nailed, like
Yeah.
1,000%, in the
Mhm.
way that he carried himself, in the way that the disease was affecting every single ligament and
Yeah.
muscle. Even the reactions to Mitch sort of changed.
Mm.
It was just like everything in his actor toolbox and blueprint was like
Yeah.
aligned from an emotional and physical sense. And I
Absolutely.
think when you play a character, which is a real life person like Morrie,
Mm.
you have to go there. Like you're playing a character, but that is also a real person.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like texture is our kind of golden word in this episode. Like,
Yeah.
Nicholas, thank you for bringing that like real life, like decomposition of
Yeah.
human self to this
And it's
role.
also a disease that so many people are so knowledgeable of because it is so common. And it was
Yes.
so very like it wasn't over the top of now I can't move my legs. Now I
Yeah.
can't do this. It was very, very subtle, but it was gorgeous.
And the like the what right the tragedy that is ALS of like
Yeah.
the body goes downhill, but the brain actually becomes
It's there.
wiser. So
Absolutely.
it's like that sort of push pull that Nicholas did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Cause it also,
Mhm.
having, again, this is a piece where it's going to pluck on everybody's individual heartstrings and memory pockets.
Mm.
Um, a lot of his physicality and due diligence to the disease affecting his way of life reminded me of so my grandfather, my mother's side, he passed
Mm.
away of lung cancer.
Mm.
And it was quite a quick, like, depletion of self as well. And we witnessed that and
Yeah.
him struggling with that. And Nicholas's performance today as Morrie kind of like reminded me of that in a beautiful way, right?
Yeah.
Of like remembering my grandfather going through that and grappling with life and asking these questions. And so
Absolutely.
I actually remember having a conversation with my grandpa, and he was sitting on an armchair that I grew up like sitting watching movies on as a
Mm.
kid. So again, that armchair moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to give that warm like presence
Yeah.
and shout out to that performance for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
Also want to talk about the soundscape.
Oh, gorgeous.
So, like, again, very subtle, but
Hmm.
whether it was like you said, piped in sound to create like sports sounds or like
Yeah.
music playing, because we know music is a vital part of Mitch's life. So there was the tactical sort of narrative soundscape that was elevating scenes, but then there was also like the emotive, again, I'm going to get teary because it's like moments in art where you are feeling such a way that like music is the only other thing that you need to be hearing in those moments. And
Absolutely.
I
Mm.
think the team did a really good job of peppering in like, okay, this monologue needs a little bit of emotive underscoring.
Yeah, the audience needs a little bit of a break, and
Yeah.
I think they were really good of finding the stillness in certain moments and then knowing when music can assist
Yeah.
and feeling those moments without just being in silence. Because it's
Especially,
also
yeah. Yeah, go
because
ahead.
it's
Go.
also because it is such an emotional piece that like we were saying that people all around us were some were crying from the very beginning, some were really, really emotional. So you're also dealing with that all around you. And the music kind of takes a break from that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of quells the whole
Yeah.
experience. And also knowing that music is such a vital part of Mitch's human
Mm.
makeup, and also him sort of like being frustrated with music when he lost his uncle, and that was kind of like his first sort of frustration or up against death
Yeah.
experience. Again, I feel like music dramaturgically plays like two roles here because it's acting
Absolutely.
as that sort of carrier of the piece, but then it's also acting as like Mitch's heartbeat in a
Mm.
way,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. And then it was also really gorgeous. I was saying before how it's a two-hander, but they weave in all these different characters very, very seamlessly. And we meet Janine, who is Mitch's wife, who obviously is not a fictional, is not a realized character, but
Yeah.
is very much in the show, who's a singer. And we eventually get to hear her sing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm looking at an empty chair, but I can envision exactly who that is right now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, tipping the hat again. Chloë directed this, so Chloë is the
Yeah.
artistic director, but also she directed this piece too, and weaving all of this together and seamlessly. Again, utilizing the actual storefront of Pine Orchard as the
Absolutely.
stage where Mitch and Morrie were entering and exiting his house like through the
Mhm.
actual door of Pine Orchard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, but then, in the impactful moments or when we're switching scenes per se, having the characters step down into the sort of apron of the
Mhm.
space, sort of breaking that fourth wall in a way,
Yeah.
which this piece kind of really has to do. Like there's so many
Yeah.
poignant moments where, similar to Mitch Albom's entire collection of works, like he's talking directly to us,
Yeah.
right? So in a way, it's like we were witnessing theater, but we were also in like a meditation, but we were also in
Mhm.
like a lecture, like,
Literally.
and the
Yeah.
way that Chloe staged it that way is brilliant, in my opinion, because you're going to
Yeah.
get, everyone's going to have their different experience with this piece too, but everyone's also going to witness it through either of those lenses too, right?
100%. Yeah. And and like breaking the fourth wall and like coming into that apron just humanized him like Morrie a little bit more for me. Like he was already, but I was like, oh, you're the cutest little old man I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And like, I just thought of like my favorite professor from university and just like all
Yeah.
these things just like intertwined. Yeah.
And again, using that apron moment, that stepping down from the steps, a lot of the direction in Mitch, like when he's trying to grapple with something, or he's
Mhm.
frustrated, or he's running away from something, it's having him vulnerably step into that gravel space with us
Yeah.
humans. Again, I
Mm,
feel like dramaturgically, that's doing the two things. It's like
absolutely.
literally adding the levels of the space, but it's when there is these hard questions, when you do have to kind of reach out and relate. Like I feel
Mm,
like humans in a state of vulnerability, like that's what we're doing, we're trying
yeah.
to relate, we're trying to reach out, and playing in that sort of more vulnerable, less lit space kind
Mm,
of had that connection
yeah.
of audience to performer for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whew. We could write a whole essay on this, Chloe.
Couldn't we,
Thank you.
couldn't we
Yes.
just?
Okay, so I have to ask you, because you do a lot of and does a lot of stage management and assistant
Mhm.
stage managing. So, like from a production side, like, do you have any observations or any tidbits to
Well,
share?
we were saying on the drive home, because like once you're in theater and like you work in theater professionally, you can never see a show the
Yeah.
same way ever again. And especially like as like an ASM, I'll always be like, oh my God, that's gonna fall off the table. So there was like I don't know if you noticed, but there was one moment where they make a joke of Mitch recording his conversations with Morrie, and the tape recorders keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because the bigger it is, the more impressive it is.
Yeah.
And at one point, it just like teetered a little bit off, and I was like, no, 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 no. And I was like, you can't do anything. Take a sit down. You're fine. Everything's fine. It's staying there. It's for fun.
It's funny. I also noticed that too. And then, like, again, because the funny thing is, I have the ASM SM brain, but then
Yeah,
I also have the actor brain where it's like dramaturgically, you got to make a meal out of anything that like oopsies on stage. So
exactly.
I was thinking, I'm like, okay, if this thing topples over, it's just
It's fine.
showing again, like, oh, Morrie doesn't know how to with this, or like he's clumsy, or he's knocking stuff over,
Yeah,
that means like he's not doing well today, or
right. It was
like
so
making
funny.
me a lot of what happens.
Yeah. And
um
then, as I was saying, when Mitch brings on the cot at the very end, which I was like, oh, there's a cot. It was fully there the whole time. And he just had to adjust the legs, which he ended up doing. But I was like, adjust the legs, adjust the legs. It's going to fall
yeah.
over. Adjust the legs. He's going to die. Adjust the legs. But everything was fine. But I was like, I
Yeah.
can't. And then I don't pay attention to what they're saying. And I was like, I'm sure it's gorgeous,
Yeah.
but adjust the legs right now. Like, I just
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
The one moment that maybe some people would have been like, "Ooh, be careful," but I loved how sort of raw and real this was. Is at the very
Oh,
end when
yeah.
Mitch goes to lift
Hmm.
Morrie, and the way that the armchair is placed, like quite near the lip of where the stair is,
Absolutely.
and Mitch, there isn't really much room between the first step and Mitch
Yeah.
having to pick him up and carry him, but the way that he positioned his feet to go around
Mhm.
that chair.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting teary because I don't even know if most people would even notice this, but
Yeah.
it's like the way he placed his feet and he was carrying him, and like
Mm.
very, yeah, in like a safe haven. There wasn't a
Yeah.
single part of me that was like, oh, this actor's not gonna,
Yeah.
not gonna do this properly or anything, right? I was
Hmm.
like, oof, yeah, I
No,
love,
it was a very real, raw moment where I
yeah,
was like,
cradled him.
yeah. And anyone that is like, that has, like you were saying, that has had elderly relatives that have been going through that, you've done it yourself, you've seen someone done it, like it was like, yeah, you just have to
Yeah.
do what you got to do. And you
Yeah.
do it with all the love in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. You navigate how you need to navigate.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to share. I mean, there's so many, anyone who's read any of Mitch Albom's works, or,
Mm.
there's so many wonderful quotes he has, but I just want to read the one that's at the top of the message from Chloë in these wonderful programs, by
I
the
know it's
way.
gorgeous.
But yeah, just to kind of, I think, honestly, round out our discussion. I feel like we've
Yeah.
touched on a lot of things,
Yeah.
and I don't want to keep going because I do want folks to experience this themselves.
Hmm.
But again, this is the quote that Chloë includes in the top of her message too, is devote yourself to loving others, devote yourself to your community around you, and devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning.
Mm.
And she says, this is one of her favorite quotes from the wise and wonderful Professor Morrie Schwartz. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what we bear witness to today, like thematically, community wise, friendship wise. Like, I love that it's you and
Yeah.
I that went to see this show
Right.
together. Emily's definitely my emotional rock, whether we're talking
Yeah.
about theater or life. It's just like,
Yes.
Emily, let's unpack my heart and soul and brain at you.
Yeah.
Emily holds for me. And
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, it was very special that we got to see this. And
Yeah, and it was really sweet because Morrie's message to Mitch is always like, I want more emotion, be touchy-feely. I want to see a man cry. And I'm very much like, I don't really cry that often. Like I'm not like a super emotional person. And watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably be more emotional. I can probably do this. So I was like, that really, I didn't cry, but it really touched me.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
cry, just start crying. But
No, but totally,
it's
yeah.
like, just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole sort of basis of just acting from a place of love always.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Mitch Albom's Tuesdays with Morrie. It is production happening King Theater Company at Pine Farms Orchard. And it's running now until August 28th. Helmed and directed, the company's helmed, and this production is directed by the wonderful Chloë Rose Flowers. Thank you, Chloë, for
Yeah.
starting this company and continuously putting fabulous works out there, and especially in your hometown. It's very lovely that you kind of get to
Mm-hmm.
share that. Yeah, and folks, definitely treat yourself, because it's also an evening. Like, you can
Yeah.
treat yourself to the goodies at the farm, and the ambiance is great. It was lovely just to
Yeah.
escape the concrete jungle that is Toronto, and it was only like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
And Emily and I are going to go back and pick apples.
Yes.
So the journey up there is not ending for us, for sure. Yes, we'll pop all the information down below in our write-up. Okay, so at this point, Emily,
Yes.
where can folks find and follow you? Go ahead and give yourself a little social plug if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm on mainly on Instagram. I think it's like Emily Corn 94. I think I'll put it down below. Yeah, doing all the things. I'm starting to write some parody musical theater songs in like a stage management lens of just sharing the love of actors and all the crazy stuff they do, and just all the fun stuff that stage managers have to deal with. Yeah.
Obsessed. We need
Yes.
that piece. Where's
Right?
that? Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's coming to fruition. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Folks can find and follow me personally at my artist Instagram account, Jillian.Robinson96. You can catch up with any upcoming works down the line too. I want to really get back into like directing, maybe trying to do some more of that, do some writing of my own as well. I've got some little personal projects
doing all
coming
the
down the
things.
line. Yeah. And then folks can find and follow Cup of Hemlock Theatre anywhere you get your podcasts. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We'll pop all the details below there. And yeah, keep your eyes and ears open for some wonderful episodes coming down the line. We've got some interviews upcoming. We also have some Trovable content now. So down the line, we'll be releasing some fun little multiple panel episodes. Yeah. And you know what? Fall's coming down the line too. So we're going to get hit with the fresh seasons of theater, which is super lovely. Can't believe fall is already down the line. We're at the end of summer.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, thank you so much, Emily, for
Yeah.
coming onto the Cup. You're a rookie and you absolutely slayed the
I
game.
know. Oh, Thank you so much. You said it to everybody. Yes.
No, I really don't. Slay the game.
Okay,
I
great.
mean, hey,
Yes.
Emily and I also play softball and do like fun recreational stuff outside of this too. So you
Yes.
slayed the game there.
But I'm
Hit it
very
out of the
competitive.
park.
I'm very competitive. So I'm happy that I did good.
Great. So let's grab our waters.
Yes.
Take one last hearty sip. And we'll cheers to everyone.
Very good. Cheers.
Keep loving, keep being in community, keep supporting new theater companies, branch outside of your city to see some new, fresh theater. And yeah, life is too short. So why don't you go ahead and live it?
Wow.
And on that note,
put
cheers.
that on a t-shirt. Yes. Gorgeous.
And we'll see you in the next episode of The Cup. Bye, folks.
Bye.